So without y'all.
Yeah, buddy. We are looking at our updated Heisman watch list, and we're going to go through and just look at the odds of these teams, of these players. I mean, and as you alluded to, you talking about Colorado, Travis Hunter is minus 110 right now. I mean, the guy is playing out of his mind. But and I'm going to get back to Dylan Gabriel's number 2 right now in the betting odds with plus 360. Ashton Genty is number 3 with plus 450. Cam Ward dropped down to 4 with plus 700. Curtis Rorick of Indiana plus 1,500. Man, come on. That is what I wanted to see. But you look at this list, you look at the top all the way through, man. Is this kind of where you stand? Do you have anybody up higher or lower? What you think?
To me, that's my top 5. And I think Jalen Milroe being very close in the odds to Curtis Rourke is accurate. I think Milroe's just on the outside looking in for me. I've got those top 5 just in a different order. I got Rourke at 5. I think if he goes in and beats Ohio State next week, then he shoots up into that top 3. But for me right now, didn't know that he was 5th in the odds before you showed me before the show. I was going to have him 5th regardless because he's been balling out, and I've loved to see it. Cam Ward for me dropped to 4, just like on the list here. Played very well pretty much all season. They finally got caught. They've had a couple of those games where he's had to be Superman and steal the game right at the end. They didn't do it this time, funny enough, against Georgia Tech again, just like last year, to ruin the undefeated season. My first change here, I got Dylan Gabriel at 3.
Ooh, okay.
I just think the 2 non-quarterbacks have kind of separated themselves a little bit personally. Now, Dylan Gabriel has a couple games left to show that I'm wrong about that, but I think and I've got another flip-flop here too. I think Travis Hunter is 2. Now, to me, Hunter and my number 1, Ashton Genty, it's razor thin. You could argue either one, and I'm going to be like, you're right. So, to me, just personally, what Ashton Genty's done at Boise State, that group of 5, it still played well against a team like Oregon, so we can say strength of schedule all we want. He's played a quality opponent and still played well. Now what Hunter's done as that wide receiver and corner, it's the volume he's played at both positions is unprecedented. And he's played elite on both sides of the ball. So you know, I'm talking myself into flipping it here. Right. I'm going Hunter 1, Genty 2. Like I said, either way.
Split it in half. Just split it in half.
Yeah, can we give it to both of them?
I mean, honestly. Look, I'm right there with you. So for me, I have different. For me, 6, and this is fully dependent on what happens, is Shedeur Sanders with how he's been playing in Colorado, because he continues to prove people wrong. And if they were able to make the Big 12 championship and potentially win that thing, if he puts them in that position, you got to show them love. That's my 6. Number 5 for me, I hate that. And I didn't have Curtis Rourke in there, and I have him up to that list, but I have him at 7. Number 5 for me is Jackson Dart. Honestly, the fact that Jackson Dart, I mean, he went down early in that game, then was able to muster up the strength, come back in that game, and really play a good game against a great Georgia team. Albeit the defense isn't what it used to be, but I mean, they are still a solid team, and really win that thing handily. It was definitely impressed me. Number 4 is Cameron Ward. I mean, I'm not going to take as much away from him for that loss, because he's been the reason why they've been in these games. And in those games where they've gotten down, he's 3-1, because I thought I know he had 3 other victories when they were down, and he wasn't able to pull this one out, but I believe in him. I see what he's doing. Now, this is where things get switched for me. I also have Dylan Gabriel at 3rd, and the reason being is because, like you're saying, he's winning. They're undefeated, best team in the country, but some of those have been by the skin of their teeth, and he's played well, yes, and he's clearly that guy, but maybe this is my running back bias, and that's why I had to drop him a little bit, because he's not doing for me what if Cameron Ward was undefeated, he was doing what Quinn Ewers, if he stayed undefeated, what he would have been like. Yeah, I just think Dylan is playing well, but again, just a little bit under. And this is where it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Running back bias, Austin Gentry's my guy, and I have him I have him at number 1. Travis Hunter, I feel awful. I want him at number 1 too, because the thing about Travis Hunter is that what we're seeing from him, I don't know that it has been done since like post World War II type stuff, like where the guy regularly played Iron Man and played offense and defense and never came off the field. I think the last game he was only out of the game like one play. You know what I mean?
And there's been multiple games like that all season.
Exactly.
It's insane.
It's what he's able to do is one thing. I mean, having the stamina to do it is one thing. But then you are impacting the game greatly. You're catching balls. I mean, you were balling out over 500-600 yards receiving, if not far more. You're sitting here up there in top tier in deflections and pass breakups. I mean, you were making tackles, like you were doing everything for this team.
Literally.
I mean, like literally, right. So, I mean, just by the sheer fact of everything you're doing, I have to put you up there in that category. But for me, as somebody that grew up watching Barry Sanders, if this can be done and we've seen it, he's doing it, and the person that Austin Gentry is on top of that, the scholarship that he created, the fact that he is so personable and out in the open and close to people, I am bought and sold by this. Like, I absolutely love everything about what Austin Gentry is bringing to the table right now. He is my number 1. But again, just like you, if it went to Travis, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I have no issues. I just love the way that they're playing. But I do think if Travis is able to really propel these guys into a position to really be playing late, I mean, him and Shador, I mean, we got to give him love. Deion said they were going to do it last year. It didn't come to fruition, but he's definitely doing it this year, man. Oh, yeah. You should.
I sent you a stat line there.
Jeez Louise.
69 catches, 856 yards, 9 touchdowns, leads Colorado in all 3 categories.
Come on, man.
And it's leads by 24 catches, leads by like 270 yards and a touchdown.
Good God. Yeah, look.
And those are guys that are just playing receiver, and he's playing defense as well.
Right.
Like,
you got to show love. When other players watch his game and they just want to see, is he doing it? Can he do it? Can he continue to do it? That's what I think it really shows when your peers revere you in the way that they do. And look, we've seen it. I beforehand, I didn't know if he could translate. I don't know if they'll fully let him play both ways in the pros, but he's proven whichever side you pick him on, he's going to ball out. He's going to play well, man.
If he's a corner in the draft next year, he's probably the top corner taken. I love my boy Johnson, but Travis is probably the top boy taken there at corner. And if he's a receiver, he's probably the top receiver taken. Like, there's legit talk of teams at the top of the draft that need a quarterback, an offensive lineman, whatever, taking Travis Hunter first overall.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's how good this guy is. And we talked about his offensive stats. I just looked it up. He's defensively top 10 on the team in tackles.
Jeez.
As a corner.
Oh my goodness.
Like, when we say he does everything. He gets in there and attacks the run game. He covers your best receiver and locks him down. He runs all the routes, catches all the balls, scores all the touchdowns. Like, it's just what Travis Hunter is doing right now is absolutely insane.
It is. And we got to give him his flowers right now. I mean, he's absolutely balling out. And this won't be seen anytime soon. Like, I just don't see. It's a special type of player to be able to do what he's been doing. Again, I mean, it's a flip of a coin for me, Travis and Austin Gentry. But right now, I got Austin up there. And as you saw the last show we did a couple weeks ago, I think Travis up at number 1. Or I had
you had Travis 1, yeah.
So I mean, look, honestly, the way they're both playing, I don't remember a time when I had 2 favorites. I had 2 picks that I was like, yeah, I could go either way on this. It's either normally been this guy or that guy or whatever, but I'm loving each and everything I'm seeing. Now let's look below that list. We see all these other people on here: Quinn Ewers, Shador Sanders, Cade Klubnik, Aller, Leonard, any of those guys. Do you see any of those other guys making any kind of, or is the gap too far, or what do you think?
To me, if you take out the top, if you avoid the top 5 up there, I think Milroe, Dart, and Shador are the only 3 I really think have a shot. Mm-hmm. Quinn looked awful against Georgia. Got benched even. I think that killed him. Yep. And missing those couple games. Klubnik, he's got the numbers to justify it, but he's looked rough in a couple games here recently, and Georgia to start the year, he's gone. Yep. Drew Aller, had he won the Ohio State game, he'd be up in the discussion. He's too far out. Riley Leonard, Jekyll and Hyde, way too inconsistent. He's out. Emeka Egbuka, not even the best receiver on his own team. He's out. I like Rocco Beck, but they've kind of hit that slump the last 2 games. I think he's out. And if I'm not mistaken, Graham Mertz is still hurt.
Yeah.
Is he not?
So he ain't playing. So that's a little awkward. I saw that at the bottom there. So hey, we'll see. Right now, it's pretty much a 3-man race. We'll see what Shador is able to do, Ward, some of those guys, but that is where we are. Let us know who your picks are for the Heisman Trophy and where you stand on that.